Legal stuff, enjoy the video.
Remember those slips of paper that had a time window on it? Remember when they were free? For those that don't know, or for those that do know, but really want to hear me mess it up a little, sorry in advance if I got stuff wrong. Fastpass is, or in this case was, more on that later, a service that was offered free with any Disney park admission. It is, or was, again more on that later, a service that was offered at every Disney park around the world. Starting in 1999, it was a way to help cut down on the lines. Basically, the whole point of Fastpass is that you go into a smaller, separate line so you don't end up spending hours and 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 hours in line. For stuff like roller coasters and not for stuff like Frozen Ever After, which I'm still questioning how the heck that managed to get a Fastpass Plus. Okay, I'm well aware why, but still. I'm just gonna brag here for a minute. I actually didn't use Fastpass Plus the last time I was at Disney for that ride. I purposely waited 55 minutes in line for that. So if you excuse me for a sec, I'm gonna Google what bragging means. Oh. Now, how did Fastpass work? Well, it was actually pretty simple. You go up to a Fastpass kiosk near any ride, you slip your ticket or key to the World Card, aka this thingy, into the machine, and then it pops out a little ticket with a time window on it, and when that time window comes up, you go to the attraction and go into a special separate line with a minimal wait. It was simple to say the least, but then in 2012, Disney got bored and decided to make it not so simple. In 2012, and starting at Walt Disney World, they introduced Fastpass Plus, which is somewhat the same thing, but instead of doing it at the attraction, you do it 60 days in advance if you're staying on property, or 30 days if you're staying off property, or you're at one of the good neighbor hotels. You book them online. It's a little more annoying, but at least it was still free. Although I will admit that tier system I just never got. Seriously, on my last trip, they made all the Toy Story rides tier 1 attractions, and then made every other attraction at Hollywood Studios tier 2. Well, at least that way you were able to ride both Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster with a minimal wait. But for real though, why the heck was Frozen Ever After in the same tier as Soarin' and Test Track? Just asking. In 2017, Disney introduced Max Pass for Disneyland. And only Disneyland. It somehow was both similar and different from Fastpass Plus. It's similar as you can make it on your phone online. The only difference is you don't need to do it 60 days in advance. You can do it the day of, but it's going to have to cost you a little something something, obviously. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, this is probably going to cost like $5 at most for the entire trip. It was $20 per person per day, or $120 per year with the annual pass. But at least standard pass passes were there, and at least they were free. Then in March 2020, well, we kind of already know what happened there. And then after the pandemic closures, Fastpass was not to be seen anywhere. I mean, to be fair, a lot of Disney park fans aren't really complaining about the idea of Fastpass not being there. In fact, from what I heard, lines have actually gotten better since they got rid of Fastpass. Guessing it was not so convenient after all. But now comes the real reason for this video. In July 2021, Disneyland Paris announced their replacement for Fastpass, and everybody made a collective, well, this clip from The Office.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Anyway, back to what I was saying before we showed the kind of obvious clip I was going to use anyway. In July 2021, Disneyland Paris announced Disney Premier Access. And sort of similar to the Disney Plus feature of the same name, for a small fee you get to pay. You basically pay to skip the line. And let's just say this managed to tick off a lot of Disney Parks fans, and I'm not talking about just the American ones. Even European ones were ticked off about this. Look, Premier Access was an okay feature on Disney Plus, even though I don't think Disney's gonna bring that back again since oops and double oops. Disney Plus at least gave you the movie for free 3 months later, but if it's 3 months later at Disneyland Paris, yeah, no, you still have to pay for it. Sorry. One thing I was honestly questioning about this was, why start Disneyland Paris? Disneyland Paris is literally the most expensive Disney park around the world. Literally, I checked ticket prices for all of them. So, making it the park that's going to cost you an arm, a leg, and probably some other body parts to even afford or to enter in the place, that's kind of bullcrap. And while writing this episode, and by the way, there was a lot of stuff that happened while writing this episode, so I didn't really understand why this took up until late August to talk about. The prices were revealed for Disney Premier Access in Disneyland Paris, and a lot of the prices are kind of confusing. And they're also incredibly stupid. For example, Autopia is currently cheap as €8 or $9.50 US. It makes sense to make the kiddie ride cheap. For €12 or about $14 US, they give you Big Thunder Mountain, which makes a little bit of sense because it's a high-octane roller coaster, because theirs is way faster than ours. But then they charge €15 or $18 for the Buzz Lightyear ride. I got nothing else to say. That's stupid with a capital S-T-U-P-I-D. Also, I don't know if I'm the only one who noticed this, but for some reason, the Disney Premier Access logo for Disneyland Paris looks almost exactly like the Disney DVD logo. Are we sure this is not timeline variant? Because if that's the case, somebody call it timeline variant authority real quick. But thankfully, Disney is going to pull this stuff up in the US parks, right? Right? Son of a bitch!
Language.
Okay. I'm well aware that other parks that aren't owned by Disney, such as Universal, Six Flags, and Cedar Fair, they charge you to skip the line anyway. I've never seen how much it costs, so for the heck of it, I'm just gonna Google how much a Universal Express Pass costs. Jesus Christ! Well, on the bright side, at least it's cheaper than most parks, but anyway, I know Fastpass was a major problem in recent years, especially with the introduction of Fastpass Plus and MaxPass being a little bit more cumbersome than anybody's liking, but at least it was free, and it didn't cost you any extra. Sure, you're only limited to 3 rides, which kind of stunk, but still, at least it was free! Although, just because it's free does not mean it's not annoying. I mean, the last time I went to Disney World in 2018, that was my least favorite part of playing the Disney trip. The Fastpass Plus became really cumbersome. No joke, in my last 2 trips in 2016 and 2018, Fastpass was my least favorite part of both trips. And this is coming from someone who had his ear screamed at from some little kid while on Carousel Progress. That's not a joke! But I gotta be honest, I was fearing something like this would ever come stateside. I was hoping it never did, but unfortunately we're now living through the big shape-peckening of the Disney parks. It's gonna be a very scary era that I honestly gotta question if I'm willing to go back or not. And it kinda stings because not long before filming this episode and while writing the script, Disneyland announced their new annual pass system called Magic Key, and it's way more affordable than the old system. They should put an asterisk on it because clearly they're making most of their money back through Disney Genie Plus or whatever. It's also ironic because last I checked, Aladdin's last wish was the free genie. I don't know, I think it's safe to assume we are really entering a scary era of Disney parks. And honestly, it's making me question if it's worth going back or not. Probably is, because let's be honest, Disney parks are one hell of a drug. But tell me what you think in the comments below or on my Twitter and Instagram at @SarenTheBoss. And don't forget to follow me on there as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. What am I going to do next time? Is there a certain TV show that I love that's coming back for another season that ended on a crazy cliffhanger here or something? Oh, and I know what I'm talking about now. See you real soon!
Hey everybody, sorry this episode took way longer to come out. In fact, August has been a crazy month for me, to be honest. Especially script-wise, because this one had a lot of added rewrites and such, so yeah. That's pretty much about it. I really don't have anything else to say here. Except, well, I already said see you real soon, so see you guys next time. Bye.